Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so this week we move to chapter 4, purpose of valuation. Okay, for the purpose of valuation, okay, actually we have two parts. The first one is statutory valuation, and the second one is non-statutory valuations. But for this session, I will only focus on the purpose of valuation on statutory valuation. Okay, as per mentioned before, okay, purpose of valuation are divided into two, which is statutory valuations. This valuation is more affected or rely on the legal requirements. Okay, every of the statutory valuation need to comply with the acts, okay, that govern for that particular valuations. And another one, we have non-statutory valuations. Okay, so for non-statutory valuations, okay, basically it depends on the client request, okay, to determine a value, whether market value or rental value or what any purpose, okay. That's the difference. The non-statutory valuation is not rely directly with the legal requirements. Okay, so that's the difference between statutory valuation and non-statutory valuation. In bahasa, we call statutory valuation is penilaian berkanun and non-statutory valuation as penilaian tak berkanun lah. Okay, it's opposed. Alright. Okay, the valuation process actually is same. Okay, between these both a non-statutory and statutory valuation, but the difference in terms of purpose itself and the requirements of the acts, and also policies, government policies, okay, or whatever policies or requirements on that particular situations. It is depending. That's the difference. Okay. Okay, so this is the examples of the statutory valuation. We have land acquisition, real property gains tax, okay, stamp duty, and also the last one is the valuation for rating or assessment purposes. Okay, so first we refer to the land acquisition. Okay, this one is the examples of statutory valuations, land acquisition. Land acquisition actually is pengambilan balik tanah. Okay, that's a very common terms that I think you probably hear that particular events about pengambilan balik tanah. Maybe it happens to your place or maybe your hometowns or whatsoever. Okay, so for land acquisitions, state authority can acquire any land needed. This is to inform, okay, to all of you. Okay, our land is owned by state. Okay, every land is owned by state authority. Setiap tanah di Malaysia adalah hak milik kerajaan negeri. Alright. That's the basic things. Okay, so therefore, state authority can acquire any land needed. Okay. This is the examples of the reasons, okay, that allowing state authority to acquire any lands. Okay, for the first one is for public purposes. Okay, for public purpose such as to develop schools, or maybe to develop an hospital, to develop bus station. Okay, so with this particular reason, okay, state authority is allowed to acquire the lands. Alright, so another reason to allow state authority, okay, to acquire the land is for any purpose which, in the opinion of state authority, is beneficial to the economic development of Malaysia or any part thereof, to the public generally or any class of the public. Alright, so if the state authority think that the land is beneficial to the economic development of Malaysia, such as to develop educational institution hubs, for example, at that particular locations, and this, by their opinions, can promote or boost the economic development of Malaysia, so that they are able to decide to acquire that land. Alright, so another one is for the purpose of mining, residential, agricultural, commercial, industrial, or recreational, or any combination thereof, or mixed developments. Alright, so it is allowed. For example, suddenly they found that underground of your lands, okay, as this goal, for example, okay, so that if this things happen, okay, so it is allowed to, it is possible to, for the state authority to acquire your land. Okay, maybe they will replace your land with other lands. Okay, for example, just for example. Alright, for this case, okay, for the land acquisition case, the land administrator obtained a written opinion of value from JPPH. Okay, the valuer in JPPH, who is responsible for the valuation, inspect the land, and he will also be present in court as expert witness. Okay, so for the land acquisition case, okay, normally the land administrator, pentadbir tanah, okay, will appoint instruct, okay, give the instruction to the JPPH to value that land. Okay, so the land administrator will obtain the written opinions of value from JPPH. Okay, and also the valuer that responsible to do that evaluations, okay, will be present in court as expert witness. Okay, so that's this one is the common, because when involving government matters, okay, JPPH will involve. So as you know, that state authority can acquire the land, so like state authority is also governments. Alright, so the person that will responsible to handle these things, to value the land, for example, the person that will value that land is the JPPH. Okay. Okay, so the basis of valuation by the JPPH is the market value as provided in the Act. Okay, for your information, land acquisition, we need to refer the Land Acquisition Act. However, okay, the landowner or any person who has an interest in the land acquired has the right to attend the land administrator inquiry. Okay, where he can be represented by a lawyer and or a valuer from private sector. If he is represented by a valuer and a valuation report is prepared, he may claim the valuer's fees as cost. Okay. For the land acquisition, okay, as mentioned before, the person that were responsible to value the land is the government valuers, which is JPPH. However, okay, the owner of the lands or anybody that involved has a right towards that lands are allowed to appoint a private valuer, okay, to value that particular land. Okay, it's allowed. And also, for your information, the owner also can claim all the costs involved, okay, for the valuations and also for the lawyer, okay, to the land administrator are allowed. Alright. So next, if your lands, okay, after this involved in the land acquisitions, so you need to remember this. Don't just rely on the valuation by JPPH, but you also are allowed to appoint a private valuer to value your property. So then during hearing sessions, both opinion of value will be say and will be judged, okay, will be discussed and judged by the judge at the land office. Alright. All claims for compensation should be submitted at the inquiry. Inquiry is like hearing, as mentioned before. Okay, if the landowner is not satisfied with the compensation awarded, okay, let's say JPPH, okay, already present the opinion of value, so the value, nilainya, alright, and also the private valuers also present the value, and then judge conclude that this is the value of the compensation that will be paid to the owner, and suddenly the landowner is not satisfied with the compensation, and you as a landowner are allowed to appeal to the high courts. Okay, and these appeals can be made through the land administrator. Okay. Alright, so settle on the land acquisition. So we move to real property gains tax, okay, or also known as RPGT. When people talk about RPGT, it is actually real property gains tax. Cukai ke atas keuntungan hartanah. Alright. It is a tax on chargeable gains derived from the sale of real property. So RPGT is the tax conducted towards chargeable gains or profits that you have from the sale of real property. So if you sell the property and then you get the profit, that particular profit will be taxed. Okay. Alright. So the RPGT is provided under the RPGT Act 1976. As I mentioned earlier, statutory valuation, it is rely on the acts or the tax or the acts relies on the acts that provided for each of the purpose. Okay, so RPGT is refer to the Real Property Gains Tax Act, RPGT Act 1976. Okay, so for this RPGT purposes of valuations, okay, so the Inland Revenue Board normally will request the valuer in JPPH to determine the value of property for RPGT purposes. Alright. So Inland Revenue Board is Lembaga Hasil Dalam Negeri, LHDN. Okay, normally they will request the value, okay, from JPPH. Okay, because of LHDN, they're not totally, okay, value the property themselves. Okay, normally they appoint JPPH to value that particular property. Okay, basically RPGT is imposed to the seller, okay, of the property based on the profit accrued, okay, from the differences between acquisition and disposal price. So this is how RPGT is calculated, okay, or charged, okay, and you need to remember the RPGT will be charged, okay, to the seller, penjual, okay, based on the keuntungan, profit of the from the sale of the property, okay. And how to calculate it is by looking at the differences between acquisition and disposal price. Acquisition is harga beli and disposal price is harga jual. Okay, between these two differences, okay, you can see that whether you have the profits or you face a loss, okay, toward the sale. For the sale lah. Alright. Okay. When disposal price is less than the acquisition price, then there is an allowable loss. Okay, sekiranya harga jual adalah lebih rendah daripada harga beli, so you akan mengalami kerugian, allowable loss. Alright, so there is no chargeable gain or allowable loss if the disposal price is equal to the acquisition price. Okay, so if harga jual sama macam harga beli, so you tak ada gain, you will not have a profits, or so you pun tak rugi, okay, so you tak perlulah bayar RPGT. If you're facing a loss, allowable loss, so this one can be carried forward. Okay, so disposal price is the amount of money or the value of consideration in monetary terms obtained from the disposal of any asset. Alright, so disposal price actually is the amount, okay, or the considerations towards the disposal of any assets. Harga jual lah, senang cerita. Alright, so another one is acquisition price. Is the acquisition price of an asset is the amount of value of the consideration in money or monies worth paid or given for the acquisition of the asset. So when you acquire the land, so you will have the cost involved, okay. So that's we call it as acquisition price. Harga beli lah. That's very easy. Okay. So this one is the I show you, this is the currents, okay, but for your information, this rate, okay, could be changed, okay, time to time according to the government decisions. Okay, normally we will refer to the budget, okay, yearly budget announcement by the governments, okay, whether there are any changeable in the tax rate. Okay, however, for this we still apply on these things, okay, and on year 2020, okay, if you sell your property, okay, within 1 year, so you need to bear with 30% of tax. You kena bayar 30% tax from you punya profit. Alright. Kalau tahun kedua, for the second year, alright, you also need to pay 30% from the total profit. Okay, until third year. Okay, however, for the next year, fourth year, okay, you need to pay 20% from the profit. Semakin lama, dia semakin reducing. Alright. Previously, okay, until 2018, alright. So, if any property that dispose more than 5 years, okay, you dah pegang selama 5 tahun dan you dispose, you jual, so you tak payah bayar tax. Okay, that one until 2018. However, starting 2019, 5 years and above, you need to bear with 5% of RPGT rate of tax. Okay. So kalau you beli property and then you hold until more than 5 years and then you want to dispose it, now you still need to bear 5% tax. Okay. Okay. So this is the examples of situation. Okay. Okay. Let's say the property value as 1.55 million in 2013 means that this one is the acquisition price. Okay, so you buy the property 1.55 million in 2013 and then 2020 you sell it at 2 million. All right. So here it's mentioned here the RPGT you need to pay is 22,500. So how they get this? Okay, so let's take a look on this. Alright, so this 2 million, okay, sold at 2 million means that it is a acquisition price or disposal price. It is a disposal price. So here we put here disposal price at 2 million. Okay, so now 1.55 million. So this one is what? This one is acquisition price, harga beli. Okay, 1.55 millions. Alright, so how to calculate the RPGT? It's very easy. Just as mentioned before, the difference between disposal price and acquisition price. So how to get the difference? You just deduct it. Alright, disposal price less acquisition price. Okay, so here you will get the chargeable gain or profit or allowable loss. But for this situation, it is chargeable gain or profit. That is 450,000. So this is the profit from the sale. Okay, 450,000. Alright, so how to calculate? Okay, because here 2013 to 2020, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, so the gaps here is 20 years. Means that you already hold the property for 7 years. Okay, so means that you already hold the property for 7 years. 7 years. If you still remember on the tax rate for 7 years is more than 5 years is 5%. So here the rate of tax is 5%. Alright. So 5% from the profit. So here profit is 450,000. So 5% from 450,000. So it equal to 22,500. So this is the RPGT that you need to pay. Alright. So it is equal as per stated here. Okay, so how to get 22,500 is like this. Just refer to the tables. So you get the amount of RPGT that need to be paid. Alright. Okay, so then we move to stamp duty. Alright. Previously is RPGT. So now it's stamp duty. Okay. Stamp duty actually is an instrument. It's defined as any written document and in general, stamp duty is levied on legal, commercial and financial instruments. Alright. Stamp duties are imposed on instruments and not the transactions. Okay. Normally, stamp duty you need to pay for the instruments. Okay. Because yeah, of course, it is not for the transactions, but however, every transactions also will come together with the instruments. Alright. Okay, so the person liable to pay stamp duty is set out in the third schedule of Stamp Duty Act 1949. Okay, so stamp duty also you need to refer Stamp Duty Act. Alright. There are two types of duty, ad valorem duty and fixed duty. So ad valorem duty is the rate of duty varies according to the nature of the instruments and the considerations stipulated in the instruments or the market value of the property. Okay, so this is ad valorem duty, which is it is changeable. Okay, it is based on the value of the instruments. Okay, so it opposed to the fixed duty. Fixed duty is imposed without any relation to the consideration paid or amount stated in the instrument. Okay, so it is fixed. It is not relied to the value or the figure stated in the instruments. The role of valuer in JPPH is to value when a property is transferred. A transferee is required to pay stamp duty. Okay, so for RPGT, will be charged to the seller. So stamp duty it opposed, okay, will be charged to the buyer. If you purchase a property, if you buy property, okay, so you need to pay stamp duty. So it is a difference compared to RPGT. If you sell the property, okay, you dispose the property, so you any profits that you get, you need they will be charged with the RPGT. So here stamp duty is if you buy the property, so you need to pay the stamp duty. Stamp duty imposed when buyer buy the property. Alright, the stamp duty is based on the price for the property or its market value, whichever is the higher. So this is the rule of thumbs actually. So how to calculate the stamp duty? Okay, it's actually it based on the price, okay, for the property or its market value, whichever is the higher. Okay, so this is the basis. Okay, the rule of thumbs. Okay, in order to calculate the stamp duty, we need to compare the price purchase, alright, with the market value. Harga beli dengan harga pasaran. Yang mana yang lagi besar? Whichever is the higher. So the value that which is higher will be taken to charge for stamp duty. Okay. Okay, where there is a sales and purchase agreement, SMP, the date of valuation is the date of execution of the agreements. Otherwise, it is the date of execution of the instrument of transfer. Okay, so this one is to identify the date of valuation. So, the date of valuation for stamp duty purpose is based on the date if the transactions involve the SPA or SMP, okay, sales and purchase agreement. So the valuation date is taken once the agreement is signed. Okay, we call it as execution of the agreement. Maksudnya persetujuan on the agreement lah. Persetujuan normally we show it in the when you sign the agreement. So that is the date of valuation that will apply. Otherwise, it is the date of execution of the instrument of transfer. Alright. So, kalau selain daripada itu, kita juga bergantung pada bila instrument of transfer tu dapat di-fulfillkan lah. Contohnya kalau dia ada condition, syarat-syarat, dia kena dapat consent daripada menteri besar or whatever, kerajaan negeri ataupun sultan or whatever. So after that particular condition have been approved, okay, so the date of valuation will be taken according to that particular date. Alright, so this is the calculation of stamp duty. This one actually is the portions, the percentage charge for the stamp duty. Okay, for the first 100,000, okay, they will charge you 1%. So next 400,000, 2%, 500,000 to 1 million, 3%, and more than 1 million, they will charge you 4%. Okay, maybe it's quite difficult for you to digest this, and I will show you how to calculate the stamp duty charge. Okay, for your information, we as a valuer not calculating this. This is actually what have been done, okay, by the Inland Revenue Board, LHDN, okay, in order to charge the stamp duty from the seller, from the buyer, okay. However, because of we involved directly in valuing the stamp duty, so this is the things that you should know too, okay, in order to make it more clear, okay, why you need to do this. Alright, so okay, this I'll show you the situation and the calculation. Okay, let's say the property was purchased at 1.5 millions. However, the market value of the property is supposed to be is 2 millions. Okay, so looking at the situation, there are two values here, which is first one is 1.5 millions and another one is 2 million. Okay, so what do you think? Which value that will be taken to calculate the stamp duty? Okay, which value? Okay, so it is actually, okay, 2 million. The stamp duty paid will be based on 2 million. Why 2 million? Okay, because the stamp duty is based on the price for the property or its market value, whichever is the higher. Okay, mana satu yang lebih tinggi, whichever is the higher. So we will taken to calculate the stamp duty. Alright, so here the calculations. Okay, so because of we taken 2 million, so this is the calculation. Alright, for first 100,000, okay, 1% will be charged. So it is equal to RM 1,000. Okay, so next 400,000, okay, 2% will be charged. So it is 2,000. So now we just calculated for 500,000 value. So we got another 1.5 million. Alright. Okay, so next, okay, for 500,000 to 1 million. So means that here is we got a 500,000. Okay, 3% will be charged. So it is equal to 15,000. Okay, so now total up, we just we just calculate about 541. Alright, so 1 million. So we have another 1 million balance. Alright, so more than 1 million, 4% will be charged. So the balance is 1 million. Okay, so 4% from 1 million is 40,000. So try to total up. Yes, it is correct. Total up of the value is 2 million. So total up for the stamp duty chargeable is 58,000. So this is the amount that you should pay for the stamp duty. So it's very high. For the 2 million value of the property, you need to pay to the LHDN for the stamp duty about 58,000. Okay, so I think that's all. That's all for this session. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we have another one. Sorry, the last one I think. Okay, so rating, the statutory valuation, which is rating or assessment. Okay, so for this valuation purpose, okay, it's only involved for the property that is located within the area of local authority. Okay, so property that is controls or monitors and maintains and managed by the local authority. For example, in Perak Tengah, we have Majlis Daerah Perak Tengah. So any property that is located, okay, under the responsibility of Majlis Daerah Perak Tengah. So the owner of the properties should pay the rating, cukai pintu assessment. Alright, so rating or assessment, we the what we call it as normal say, okay, is the layman words is cukai pintu. Cukai pintu, okay. So cukai pintu is a rating assessment that you will learn, okay, this time. Alright, so the valuation exercise actually to determine an annual value or improve value, okay. To enable the local authority to impose an assessment rate, okay, cukai pintu ataupun kadar assessment will be taken based on annual value or improve value, okay. So after this, don't ask why my cukai pintu is high, why my cukai pintu is high, okay, compared to last year whatsoever, because of it based on the annual value. Annual value adalah based on gross rent, okay. Cukai pintu ni ditentukan berdasarkan, if we refer to annual value, dia berdasarkan kepada gross rent property you. Kalau property you punya kadar sewa kasar adalah contohnya 1,000 sebulan, so it will be based on that. So bila kadar sewa increase, you are happy, but if the rating cukai pintu increase, you sedih lah, kan? That's normal. Okay, however, you need to know this, it is linked, okay. The cukai pintu is based on the gross rent of you punya property. Alright. Okay, simply stated, annual value is based on the estimated gross annual rental of the holding. Alright, as mentioned before. Okay. Improve value is based on the capital or market value of the holding. So it is different. Annual value based on gross rent of the property. However, improved value is based on the market value. So it is different. Why it is different? Okay, because that's the basis. Improve value. Okay, miss the D. Okay, so top up the D. Improve. Okay, typo here. Alright. Okay, so rates imposed by local authorities normally are based on the annual value, okay, or gross rent, okay, of the property, except for the Johor and Malacca. These two states adopted improved value. Okay, so other states, okay, impose the annual value. Johor, Malacca, improved value. So the cukai pintu for Johor and Malacca is based on the market value. Alright. So annual value means the estimated gross annual rent. Okay, as mentioned before. Okay, I keep repeating these things because to make it you clear on how they impose or based on how they calculate the cukai pintu. Alright. It is annual value based on the estimated gross annual rent at which the holding might reasonably be expected to let from year to year, with the landlord paying the expenses of repair, insurance, maintenance or upkeep and all public rates and taxes. So means that it is gross rent. Okay, that's very simple to understand. Improved value is based on the price that an owner willing to sell and purchaser willing to pay for the holdings. Means that it is a market value. Okay, so this is only two bases. You need to remember annual value is based on the gross rent. Improved value is based on the market value. Annual value, all the state in Malaysia actually apply annual value except for Johor and Malacca. They adopted improved value. Okay. So that's all for statutory valuation. I think this is the last slide, hopefully. So if you have any questions, so you can contact me. Okay, thank you.